Well, now we're joined, as you may have seen in that welcoming slide, by Kasim Afegbua, who is the Special Advisor, Media and Public Affairs to the Governor of Edo State. Thank you for coming on this morning.
It's a pleasure.
Well, we have seen...
Always fun being here.
Well, we heard, you just heard the views of Mr. John Yakubu. First of all, he just pointed out, and he thinks clearly too, that the entire process invalidates the result that was announced by the EDSEC chairman.
The honorable thing to do is to seek redress.
But you think he has a case?
It's not my duty to tell him whether he has a case. He should advance his own reasons why he feels that the processes were wrong. Then he seek redress. That's why you say after elections there are rooms of tribunal, and you try your case at the tribunal, and they will hear you, and they will hear the other side. Do
you think it was right for the EDSEC chairman to have announced the results in Benin, or at all?
You see, I listened to him when he was talking. He tries to model up the whole process. Elections in Europe, you should know the socio-political milieu under which the election was conducted. Reason being that the chairman of the PDP Board of Trustees comes from that local government. So tempers will naturally be high because they wouldn't want their board chairman, PDP Board of Trustees chairman, to lose a local government election, so that his political relevance at least can still be domesticated in the local government. But that wasn't the case at the end of the day. In previous elections conducted by Jega-led INEC, these same persons and people were defeated in their polling units, in their ward level, and at the local government level. So they just felt that, this time they will make things look so cumbersome to the extent that at the end of the day, they want to discredit the outcome of the elections. Coming to the announcement of results, I'm not here to speak for EDSEC. It's an independent body. They can come and speak. But the information we gathered by our men on ground was that when the elections were being announced, the results of the election were being announced on the polling units from the ward level, and sensing that they were losing, PDP imported police from Lagos and Abuja started arresting the electoral officers.
On the same day?
Yes. Over 25 persons were put in behind bars.
But how, possible is that? Because the electoral officer, we understand, absconded. How possible is that if he had policemen around him?
That is the view of John Yakubu. He's a candidate, and I sympathize with him. But I'm telling you that was why the Comrade Governor said that the police converted their police station to collation centers. Reason being that as soon as they hear that results were being announced and they were losing already, they lost all the ones that they were announced, they now hijacked those persons and took them to police stations. It was very unfortunate that the one commander of Mopo, Lagos, I think Patrick Ejededawe, who is an indigenous of Uromi, came with several, number of policemen to Uromi to supervise the election. What is the function of the man in Lagos coming to this? Are you saying that we don't have police in Edo to superintend the election?
And the CP allowed that to happen?
Well, don't forget that Chief Attorney Anani is a retired police officer. So they always, you see, it's federal might versus state might, so to speak. When it comes to the issue of security, the states are virtually helpless.
Yeah, but also, that's what we'll also talk about. Yeah. People will say so much for the independence of EDSEC, because that also happens that they'll say, well, it's a case of majority having their way and minority having their say. Whether or not we like it, the purview, the state still oversees what happens with EDSEC, independent as it might be. So at the end of the day, don't you think the responsibility still comes back to the state government to actually say whatever happened? If we're talking about, for instance, if the process did not start on time, materials didn't get to places till as late as 3 o'clock for elections that are supposed to be a rerun.
You see, they will always come up. Let me tell you, you have to understand, the background. This is the third time this election was being conducted. Note that. The first time, it was materials delay. The second time they tried all their means. The Minister for Works, not remember, is from that local government. they will bring police and everything to create a scenario to ensure that there is rancor, sporadic shooting, and what have you, just to discredit the election, so that in the final analysis, when they get the result that is not in their favor, they will now say, oh, we've said it before. Even preparing for the elections, they won't prepare. I remember in one of my outings in Benin, I said, you people, as you sit down here and you are complaining, elections are 2 weeks away. Go and campaign. We have been campaigning in all the local governments in the state, even the governor getting himself involved. You people are not campaigning for your candidates, but on that day now you want to make an impression as if nothing is happening.
But that doesn't give
I'm coming.
The state government, because I'm going with what Yakubu said, the right to hijack or kidnap the EDSEC chairman, because he said...
Didn't kidnap.
The way he appeared...
I said the police were arresting the electoral officers.
But what do you have to say to that allegation? He said, well, the man was kidnapped, hijacked because of the way he was dressed. It shows that he wasn't prepared. He was taken out of his house unprepared. He had to marry that with a phone call he received from Professor Stanley or Roberto that, well, he was being threatened.
Do you decide your dressing code for the announcement of results? These are laughable, comments. Because how do you choose for a man what he wants to wear? Is there a particular dressing code for the chairman of ASEC, or just like Jagana, you say you must dress in a particular way to announce results or whatever? That's laughable. You see, the issue is when these police officers that were imported into the states, combined with the Only Members Police, several of them, or Joe Ogbesi and the senator, who is not from that local government, they were all on ground to secure the ground for their protégé, the one and only Chief Tony Anani.
But that's it. He's a senatorial district.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you are not from a particular local government, you have no business bringing police and all that to come and disrupt the process.
Has it been proved that he was the one who brought the policeman?
He has police escorts all over around him. I don't remember the same thing. They are captured on tapes.
But was there a collating center?
Yeah, it's a Gwari Primary School.
But he said they went to a Gwari Primary School, also in Uromi, and no one was found. That was why. That was why they took those documents to the police station.
Okay, now, I was happy when one of you were asking. They didn't find anybody at a Gwari Primary School, so they now converted police station to their own collation center.
No, they didn't collate to when they to drop them because he had to correct that impression.
Where did they now produce the result?
Because they're sensitive materials, you agree.
No, wait.
So if you get to a Gwari Primary School and there was no one there, the best thing for you to do is to hand them over to law enforcement agents.
I would appreciate it if you wouldn't laugh.
No. You see why I'm laughing?
They're grave allegations.
You know why I'm laughing? You say there was no collation center. But you are producing results to show that you won the 11 wards.
He said those are the results that were given to them.
To him.
Because normally if you have your agents in all those local governments or the wards, they definitely will return to you with some facts and figures. And so when they brought to them...
the results?
But you heard what he said.
Is he a collation officer?
Oh, of course, you know how it happens. Before you go for the final result, you will have your own... already your figures.
Police converted themselves to electoral officers.
Are you saying the police gave him those results?
They arrested our person.
So where did you get your own results from then? Where did EDSEC get the result that announced your candidate winner?
You are not getting my point. I said when they were announcing results, this result that Yakubu is showing is concocted. That is obvious.
How?
Wait, let me tell you. When they were announcing results at the polling units and at the ward level, and sensing that they were already losing, they went haywire. There was sporadic shooting in that.
Do you have your own return?
They have.
What I mean is, he brought his. I mean, he brought the results that were issued to them by their ward officers.
Supposedly issued to them.
Issued to them anyway. At least copies of it. Do you have any to the contrary?
No, they have. EDSEC has. It is not the business of government of Oshomole to be carrying this. They have all their records.